Now, I had a question earlier in regards to swing plane, and one player, his coach was telling him that swinging down is going to produce backspin, and that's going to in turn make the ball go farther. And we're gonna talk a little bit about this. We do a drill where we try to get kids in line with the pitch, and you can see right here that this swing line, if we pause this right here, is pretty close to exactly what we're trying to get. If we're trying to produce a swing that's going upwards just a little bit, if we put a line right through here, that's about 5 degrees upwards. You could probably go up as much as about 10 degrees for the guys that want to try to lift the ball a little bit more, maybe 11 degrees. And about 3 degrees would be about as flat as you would ever want to get, because that's going to produce a lot more ground balls. It depends on how hard you hit the ball and a lot of different factors. But in general, you want to try to stay in the middle of this. Somewhere between about 4 and 10 or 11 degrees is the swing line that we want to try to produce. But let's take a look at what we did here. What he's trying to do is swing level and then up and then down. And what we're trying to do is over the course of 4 or 5 swings, get to the place where he's actually controlling his swing line. You see, this one's pretty much right in line with that top line that we've drawn in. And he's going to strike the ball pretty well. And that's going to happen a lot because you got a lot of time from the time you start your swing, and the barrel goes down, 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 but it gets in line right about here, and it stays there for a very long time. I mean, if you did the math on that, from where his bat came into the line and where it stayed there at the top of the zone like that, that's longer than the width of his bat. I mean, if we measure the width of his bat, it's longer than that, than the length of his bat, I should say. So we're talking about a very, very good swing line when it's in the same line as the ball. So the beginning part of this question was, do you swing down in order to try to teach somebody how to feel the right swing line, or do you say swing down in reality? Well, let's take a look at a couple of swings that are actually going down. And he's trying really hard to make his swing go down. So here his barrel starts up, and it starts to go down, and then it continues, kind of levels off a little bit right through here. But this is his first attempt at trying to swing down. So you can see him really over-exaggerating here, and now we can actually see the bat going from up to down. And when this happens, you got a ball coming this way, and you got a swing line going this way. They only meet in one spot perfectly, and when you do meet perfectly, you're going to hit it straight down in the ground. It's going to be a line drive, but it's going to be heading downward. When you miss hit it, like he is here, you're going to see that he tops it, and the line is going to go straight down in the dirt. He can also miss that underneath and pop it up. And if he misses it just barely, he's going to hit a top spin fly ball, like the question, the guy that asked the question, his son's coach, is saying that that's the ideal way to hit a baseball. But the problem with that is when you're swinging down and the ball is going down and you miss-hit it, you're planning on a miss-hit that's perfect. And it's not going to happen very often, number one. Number two, even when it does happen, you're going to get your backspin. But backspin only helps you in some instances. It only helps you really when the wind's blowing at your back. If you hit a top spin, backspin fly ball into the wind, it's going to carry and it's going to hold up more. So swinging down is not actually what you want to have happen. Let's see, I think we even have a couple more of these that are down. This one's fairly down. You can see that the bat trail is going about 7 degrees downward. And this is the pop-up I'm talking about. This is what happens. That ball's got a lot of backspin, but it's mishit, and it's not going to carry very far. What did we get on the speed on that one? 42 miles an hour. That's about half. It's about 50% of his max. Now this is one he's really trying to stay up on top of. So this would be an example of just ever so slightly downward. At least that's the way I see it. It might actually be fairly level, but it looks downward to me. Drawing that line in helps a lot, the one that's going slightly up. And we're going to look at one more swing after this one. You see this one's going downward too, right through there. And you mishit it. You got your backspin, but you also mishit the ball greater. Well, let's go to the very last swing, because this one is pretty much what I would call right on the money as far as the swing line is concerned. His barrel does go down because it has to. Now it gets in line right here, way back here. So if he were dead late right now, he'd probably still make contact with this ball. And you see the swing line just about exactly in the middle of what we're looking for, just about 6 or 7 degrees upward. Kills this. And this was the other thing I mentioned in the article, was to try to finish as low as possible so that that line stays there, because the barrel starts way up here, so it has to go down in order to get in this line. But the longer you keep it in this line, the better. And one way you can keep it in the line is to keep your finish a little bit lower, because that's going to keep it in line longer. The higher you finish, it doesn't really create lift to get your hands to go upward at the end. That's kind of a myth. You got a round ball and a round bat. You're gonna lift the ball plenty of times, half the time, by sheer accident. In fact, this kind of contact where you smoke it is going to be the rare one. 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Most of the time, you're going to be underneath it, and you're going to hit that thing up, but up at a trajectory where it's smashed. Minimal backspin. And then when you top it, it's going to be, more like this. So the area that you're going to hit the ball in is a tighter little triangle. When you start going up or down too much, your triangle gets a lot bigger. You're going to top balls and hit them straight in front of you. With a swing like this kid could take 100 swings, and most of them are going to end up, I'm going to say 90 of them are going to end up in this kind of a range. Yes, he's going to hit some ground balls. Yes, he's going to hit some fly balls, but the fly balls are better. When he smokes it, the hardest ball he'll hit is going back this way. But when he misses it, he's going to be just below center, and it's going to create the kind of backspin that's going to be minimal. And you want minimal because in most conditions, the less spin there is, the faster the ball goes through the air. A knuckled line drive is the fastest ball off the bat. It travels through the air fastest. But you need a little bit of spin to keep the ball in the air. So all spin does is keep the ball airborne. It doesn't cut through the wind faster. In fact, if the wind's blowing in your face, it's going to do the opposite. So the key swing line is to try to get in line with the pitch. And as you can see here, we're in pretty good shape as far as that goes. We're just about exactly in line with that. And that's going to buy you the most time in line with the ball, so you're going to get the most hard hit balls within this little triangle here. But it's also going to create the right backspin, which is not maximum backspin. It's minimal. Unless you're hitting with the wind, then you want as much backspin as you can get.